Hello, everyone. Oh shit, it's doing that thing again. It's limiting. At least it's telling me an hour in. Um, that I can't record a video more than an hour long. Um, how y'all doing? It's 1:43 in the morning apparently, so it's technically Saturday. So happy Saturday. It's the 23rd. Oh, I should really fill out that open enrollment thing, and I should fill out that FAFSA sheet. I bought new lights. It's hard to tell from here, but they're hold on, can you even see them? They're PlayStation lights. They're really neat. There's different settings to them. There's like um, a mode where they cycle through all the colors, and the other one, which I thought was just like the lights going off randomly, turns out that it's actually music reactive or sound reactive. So I play a song right next to it, and it'll light up accordingly. Um, but that's I've been watching The Office lately. Partly because this girl that I've been talking to was really into The Office, and she said it's her favorite show, and basically was like, we can't be together if you don't watch The Office. And she was joking around, of course, but I was like, you know what? Enough people have told me to watch The Office that I should probably give it a chance. But I thought, maybe it would be nice if we got to see it together because she doesn't live around here. She lives all the way out on the other side of the country, and I thought it would be nice that when she finally comes here to where I live, that we could watch it together. Um, that never panned out, um, but I decided to just put the show on anyway. Um, and I had seen like a few episodes of it, so I knew it was a good show. It's not like I was watching The Office because I thought it was. It's not like I wasn't watching The Office because I thought it was a terrible show. It was just I had so many shows that had to watch that it wasn't really a top priority. It was like I had to see this movie and this movie and this other movie, this show, that other show. I had to watch Always Sunny. I had to watch this other movie. I have like two other movies, and The Office just wasn't a priority. So I just never really thought about it until I just sat down and I was just like, um, I was like, why not? I was at a point in my life where I was like, I need something to um, distract myself with. And I was like, a couple episodes of this show should do me good, and um, maybe once I'm done watching this couple of episodes, it'll give us something to talk about, you know. And we never really talked about it. I was trying to watch as much of it as I could before the next time we could talk, but sometimes things don't work out the way you want them to. So I watched it, and I liked it. I really liked it a lot. Um, it's not the same as punchy TV shows nowadays. Not even TV shows that are in the same style as The Office. Like, you don't have like The Office is pretty much the first time that you have the um, camera crew inside of mundane job. You know, and other shows have taken to that format, like uh, why am I blanking? Parks and Rec is the obvious comparison. You have Brooklyn Nine-Nine, which is kind of a similar show, although it's more of a it's less of a that reality show, more of just a TV show in that sense because um you couldn't possibly do that fake TV crew in the same way The Office does in a show like Brooklyn Nine-Nine. But it's the same concept, you know what I mean? It's a big ensemble cast of characters. I think Modern Family does it too, although I'm not entirely sure. Um, but yeah, it's so mundane. Like there's things happening every episode, but it doesn't feel like a lot happens in every episode. It's almost like working in an office. And I feel like the fact that you can kind of get that feel, although it's a more condensed, it's a more um, of course it's not like a realistic depiction of working in an office. It's more like a um, hyper realized or whatever. It's definitely not real. It's just um, it's the eccentricity eccentricities of Michael Scott kind of propelling the show forward in a sense. Although it's not always about him, it's about the other people in the cast, you know. So, you know, you get an episode about this character and it's very interesting, and then you get an episode about that character and it's very interesting. It'd be cool to get some more info on the side characters, but you know, they're there and they kind of grow and they have personalities, but you know, it's mostly about the main cast. It's for like the first few seasons. It's about Jim and Pam and you know Michael and whatnot. But it's still pretty interesting. But I found myself just like, you know, I had planned to just watch like 3 or 4 episodes of it, and I found out I was watching like a whole season in a day, and I thought, you know, it's the whole show is here. I might as well start the next episode, and I just kept watching episode after episode after episode, and it's just, um, and I really like the show, and my old best friend, um, talks about that show a lot, not a lot, but whenever she mentions that she always mentions that she's seen it multiple times. She's finished the show like 6 or 7 times, and she goes back to it whenever she's in a bad place. And I can see that honestly. And I'm talking to another friend of mine who recently went through sorry, who recently went through a breakup, and they had told me that they'd been watching The Office too, and I was like, wow, you know, and she basically said the same thing, which was that it's kind of therapeutic and kind of calming in a sense, and I'm just like, I get that, I understand that completely, and I haven't talked to her about the show a lot, but I know that she was way, way, way beyond me at that point, so I try not to talk to people about the show just because they might accidentally spoil something for me, or you know they might just be trying to make casual conversation about the show and they might say something that they don't know that I don't know, so I try not to talk about it so much, but it is nice to have people to talk to about it now, and my I still talk to my old best friend. We actually started talking again, like we haven't talked to each other regularly, but I thought that the show would be a good place for me to start talking to them again, just because I know how much that show means to them, and I thought it'd be a good way to, like, you know, get a conversation going, and so it's working out pretty well so far, and I kind of just I mention it every once in a while, and she's pretty careful about spoilers. She doesn't mention anything without me prompting it, so I enjoy that, but that's pretty much what I've been up to, and now that I'm on like season 6 or like almost to season 7 actually, I'm starting to feel sad because when I first started out the show, I was like counting the episodes. I counted um when I started realizing how many episodes I've seen, I counted that I still had literally 100 episodes to go. On the dot, 100 episodes to go. Um but I'm also counting the seasons, and I'm like, there's only 9 seasons of the show, and I'm like more than 2/3 in. And I just feel sad that it's going to end at some point. And I know about how Michael leaves at some point, and I think he leaves at the end of season 8. I'm not sure. But somewhere around that time. And I think Will Ferrell takes his place. And I heard that it's not very good once Michael leaves, once Steve Carell leaves. And I kind of get that because I feel like a lot of the show is propelled by Michael Scott's idiocy, and his just gullible nature, and just his always needing to be the center of attention, and kind of just his big mouth, um, kind of steers the show or the episode's content forward in a sense. Um, and so I would imagine that losing that or trying to replace that with the same character but like a different character would seem kind of off. I mean, they've gone with replacing certain people, but they've always interacted with. It's always about the character's interaction with Michael Scott in a way. Like you could kind of say like the first few seasons are about like Jim and Pam, but it's about like um, it's also about their interaction with Michael Scott as their boss. Um, but losing that, I could imagine that the show kind of takes a dip, but I'm not there yet, so I don't know. Um, But I will say I'm loving the series so far, and yeah, that's pretty much what's on my mind lately. Just because I sat home and watched The Office. I've been working a lot. I've been picking up at least a one extra shift a week, just to keep myself on a certain pay grade. And I've done some calculations, and I'm pretty much averaging out how much I make, and just trying to calculate it from there. Because I recently lost a bunch of my money because of a bunch of different payments stacked in a short amount of time. So I've been thinking about that, and kind of trying not to spend money. Um, I do have some bullshit pre-ordered though, so that's gonna hit me a little bit. But it's not like it's all hitting me all at once. It's just it's I can see that it's gonna take money from my account, and I'm still deciding on whether or not I really need it, or if it's something that I really care about that I should get it. But this one I'm gonna let it slide just cause whatever. Um, it's pretty much the last time that I'm gonna be spending a huge amount of money on one thing for a little while at least. So I'm gonna let that slide. But nothing really exciting happening today. That's why I'm talking about watching The Office and how I feel about it. Um, I talked to my boss about something that happened to me the other day. I think I mentioned it in the last video about meeting up with an old friend and how we hadn't talked in a little while, and we recently found a way, or like we recently were able to talk to each other. I would have never approached them first, so I was just super happy that they went up to me um, and talked to me about it. Um, and I was just kind of telling my boss about how, that was like just explaining the situation and like why why it kind of meant to me that they talked to me. It was just a nice interaction, and I hope that it keeps going. It's still a little weird. It's still a little fuzzy, but you never know. So I'm gonna go, maybe go to sleep because I have a shift in the afternoon, and it is currently almost 2 in the morning. Or maybe I'll watch more of The Office. Honestly, I want to watch more of the show, but I also don't want to watch because I don't want it to end. I'm at that point. I get it, you know. I just, but I would never ask for more episodes. I would never ask for more episodes. If the story's done, I'm gonna leave it alone, and I'm gonna let myself let these characters go. But I know I'm gonna be sad when that happens. So we'll see. Maybe next time I put up a video, it'll be once the it'll be once the series is over. I'm gonna be so sad. Um, but that's all I got. I hope everyone had a fantastic day, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.